All right, let's go.
Which is sponsored by Dimension 20. If you've ever watched Dimension 20, then you are more than likely familiar with the Box of Doom. Now you can give your home game rolls the same gravitas with the Box of Doom Dice Tower, available on the Dropout store. We're going to be using the Box of Doom along with the official Dimension 20 dice set to roll up today's sandwich. All right, gang, let's get to it. First up, we're going to roll for our bread. 2 freezer ends. From the icy depths of my freezer, I have retrieved some white bread. And with a little toasting cantrip, it is good as new and ready to go.
I don't know if I'd say good as new, but...
Next up, let's roll for Maine. 2 again. That's Gummy Frog. When I was at the Mars Cheese Castle a couple weeks ago, I saw this and I just had to get it. It's green apple flavored, so that's nice. Sure to be a textural nightmare. Some people will point to this episode and say the roll for sandwich guy has jumped the shark. I take umbrage with that. I have leaped the frog, thank you very much. Next up, let's roll for cheese.
No, not to the list.
2 again. That's chocolate cheese. I also picked up this cheese fudge made with Havarti from the Mars Cheese Castle. It seemed pretty interesting. I was able to sample some there and found out it tastes kind of like a fudgesicle. And I guess if I was going to roll it on any sandwich, maybe it's better that I rolled it on the sandwich where the main is a giant piece of gummy candy. I like those dirt and worm cups you get in elementary school. Maybe this will be like that. And next up, we'll roll for roughage.
Brother.
That's 2 dates and 10 pickles. I am absolutely flabbergasted by the amount of 2s I've been rolling today. It's insane. But I guess the date is kind of another lucky roll. It's just really sweet, and that should go with the candy. I can't tell if I'm lucky or unlucky today. Maybe
unlucky.
Rolling every single roll in the Box of Doom
unlucky.
Was not a good idea. But
unlucky.
We've already started, so we might as well finish it.
Unlucky, for sure.
Now, pickles are definitely not the first thing you think of when you think of candy, but I've heard of people combining pickles and chocolate and other things
Those people
like that.
are crazy.
I guess we'll see. Maybe
those are crazy people.
Dice are pregnant or something. As if we need to get any wilder, here's the wild magic roll.
Oh no, it's gonna be like pickle seasoning or something.
14. Gosh, I thought it was another 2 for a second. St. Elmo's seasoning. Steak seasoning. The least wild thing on the sandwich so far. Except for maybe the white bread. Sure, Dice.
Can't get over the gummy frog packaging from the dollar store. Like it's a dollar store. Yeah, no shit.
Sauce roll, you know I have to use the OG Box of Doom. All right, hold on to your butts. It's Box of Doomception. Here we go. That is 7 hot honey. I mean, all things considered, it's just another form of sugar, so not the worst roll possible here.
Oh, the cope goes crazy.
Well. Let's get our sandwich closed up here.
The cope goes insane.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's get it cut. Okay, I had to put this at 10 times speed. Let's just say cutting through a giant gummy frog is not easy. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Translucent. I kind of hate when sandwiches get this crazy, if only for the fact that no one would believe that I didn't rig this. I did put everything on the list, though. Just didn't think it would happen at the same time. Well, this is sure to be something. Let's give it a taste.
I'm glad I did this before I eat dinner.
It was
oh my god, the rocking back and forth to bite.
What I had done had settled on me. This thing is almost impossible to
Zero.
bite through.
Negative
Flavor-wise,
1.
The green
Zero.
apple and the chocolate cheese
Zero.
does
Zero.
give
Negative
that
1.
dirt and worms effect, and everything else is just sweet except
Zero.
for the pickles,
Zero.
which
Zero.
are not playing nicely. They
Zero.
don't really go.
0.
After a while, it started to become painful to eat. The
Oh
Box
no.
of Doom is not one to be trifled.
0.
Still, I got a pretty lucky combination of flavors, all things considered.
0.
There could have been clam juice on it. But texturally,
0.
not a great experience.
0.
I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 3.7.
I feel like we just coped ourselves up to 3.7.
And I'm going to call it the boggy. I kind of have to. Thank you all for sticking around and hanging out and having a good time at my expense. See you on Friday for hopefully a better sandwich.
I have 110%, without a doubt, in all my reacts of these, seen a worse sandwich rated lower. Or sorry, better sandwich rated lower. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I have seen sandwiches that were much better than that get rated lower. That should have been a 0. When a sandwich becomes painful to eat, GG's. Let us continue. Hopefully this one is better than that last monstrosity.
Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these cheese dice that were sent in by a viewer.
Oh, those are cute.
First up, let's roll for bread. 2 freezer ends. Today from the freezer, we've pulled some American pumpernickel. We're going to get that toasted up using our toasting cantrip, and then we'll be good to go.
What's the random occasional howling noise? Oh, I'm still in Overwatch.
Next up, let's roll for Maine. 6 tuna. This is the first time this season that this situation has come up. We're going to be using our second cantrip of the episode, the Midwest Salad cantrip, to add some mayo to our tuna. Cantrips in D&D are not very powerful spells, but they are able to be cast at will, meaning as much as you want. Most of the time, the only limitation is that you can't cast more than one spell in a turn. I consider each phase of the sandwich, bread, main, cheese, etc., as different turns.
That's fair.
So, though I may occasionally use 2 cantrips in the same episode, I cannot use them at the same time. So we've got tuna with mayo, an okay start, though one that can sometimes clash with other ingredients. Next up, let's roll for cheese.
Honestly,
4,
I'm fine with it.
This cellar-aged cheddar blue is a cheddar that is made in the same fashion that you would make what you typically think of as blue cheese. That is a cheddar that has been inoculated with the same bacteria that you see in other blue cheeses that...
I hate that I like the look of that so much, other than this little chunk. Like,
that caused that blue mold.
Like, if I have blue cheese, right? The best part about blue cheese is if there's like a little blue chunk like this, there's like the sauce part of the blue cheese that you can kind of just like whoop, wipe over it with, and like you don't see it and it's gone. You're not gonna be able to do that with this.
It's a nice sharp dry cheddar with some of that.
Oh, trust me, I'm a blue cheese enjoyer.
That distinct blue cheese flavor. Not bad at all. Let's roll for roughage.
I just,
5 lettuce and 8 onions.
I can trick myself into saying it doesn't exist.
Romaine lettuce to our sandwich. It'll give us a little extra structure, which is nice with having a loose main like tuna. Got something a little more special today for onions. I've got some
my brain is powerful enough to override my own thoughts. You know, like my own eyes.
A little bit of acid.
Okay, I didn't see it. Nope, that's not a thing.
Okay, let's get wild with our wild magic.
Oh, look at that, it's gone.
2, natto. Natto is fermented soybeans from Japan. This will be my first time trying it. I've heard it can be difficult for the American palate. It is typically eaten with a small amount of Japanese mustard and soy sauce.
What's happening?
And then mixed until it develops kind of a stringy goo in between all the beans. Then you would probably most often eat it over rice, but today we're gonna put it on a sandwich. I've heard it's supposed to have a pretty strong smell, but it's not really as strong as I expected it to be, though it's been talked up to me. Still, I'm afraid the texture might be too much for me. I guess we'll see. And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 13, Mr. Mustard. Mr. Mustard is a hot Dijon mustard from Ohio.
That looks
Considering
gas.
that natto is typically eaten with Japanese mustard, probably not the worst roll in the world.
What's that called? Mr. Mustard? Hang on.
Mustard is a hot Dijon mustard from Ohio. Considering that natto is typically eaten with Japanese mustard, probably not the worst roll in the world. And maybe having the strong mustard flavor will help cover over anything that might not be my
Happy
speed.
Thanksgiving to you as well.
Let's get our toothpicks in to hold this together, and let's get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Actually, the cross-section is pretty aesthetically pleasing.
It's actually not bad.
Well, just when I thought the curse of the 2s from Wednesday was over, I rolled a 2 on the wild magic and got natto. But I haven't tried it yet. I'm often surprised by this show. This might be one of those times. Let's give it a taste.
Oh, the goose! Sipping out the... Oh, hell
Complete honesty, this one was tough to get through. The texture is the worst part. It's really just sticky, gooey, slimy, and having the natto be on top of tuna salad already, just too much goo. I don't really taste anything bad at all. The mustard and that strong cheddar blue are pulling a lot of weight. They go nicely with the pickled onions and the tuna, honestly. But yeah, natto on a sandwich is not for me. I will have to try it over rice, though. I'm on the fence about this one, but I think I'm gonna go with a 1. Tastes fine, texture really rough. And I'm gonna call it natto today, Satan. Please get these out of my sight, Earl. Have a good one.
Honestly, a 1 is a little bit generous, I feel like. But the fact that that was 2 points lower than the frog sandwich, almost 3. The frog sandwich was kind of awful too. You know what I mean?
Go on.
All right, let's continue.
D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these handmade dice inspired by Gale from Baldur's Gate 3, given to me by the maker Found Familiars. Thanks. Let's get it started with our roll
Gale
for bread.
Scare.
6, sourdough. Never sad to roll sourdough. We're going to use our toasting cantrip to get this nice and crispy. Here we go.
Nice.
Not a bad start to the week. Next up, let's roll for main. 7, ham. From one good roll to another. Ham is a great main for a sandwich, and I feel like it's pretty flexible in this format. Goes with a lot of things. Also very satisfying how it fits on that bread.
Looks like you're off to a good start.
Next up, let's roll for cheese. 5, Maubais. Maubais is an American-made cheese that consists of a goat's milk cheese and a sheep's milk cheese made together and separated by a layer of grapevine ash. It's smooth and tangy and gives you a different flavor experience depending on how you bite it. I'm a fan, and I think it should work pretty well on this sandwich. So far, so good. Next up, let's roll for roughage.
Goat cheese is not bad.
4
Goat cheese
capers
is
and
actually
6
good.
tomato. Capers are the unopened buds of the caper bush. They're pickled and they're salty and taste a little bit like olives. I'm going to squish them a little bit so that they don't roll off the sandwich so badly.
Goat cheese is like
These are a fine addition. Maybe not my
salty,
first choice,
I
but
guess.
they'll work. The tomato I have today is this fresh heirloom tomato. Tomatoes, in my opinion, are one of the best sandwich toppings, and these tomatoes in particular are nice and juicy and flavorful.
They just look
It'll
so
add some
good.
moisture to the sandwich.
Those
and some
tomatoes look
acid.
amazing.
So far, we really
I'm not a
seem to be
tomato guy.
hitting all the right notes, which is always a scary place to be on this show. We're also going to bust out our salt and pepper cantrip, make sure our good tomatoes are nice and seasoned so we get the most out of them that we can.
I like that he's added that, so at least, you know,
All right,
it
here's
gives
where
the
it all
best
falls
possible
apart.
flavor.
The wild magic roll. 11, quail eggs. I've had fresh quail eggs and quail eggs in ramen and things like that, but someone sent me these canned quail eggs from China, so we're gonna check them out. Looks like they come hard-boiled. That's good. I was really hoping they weren't somehow raw in there. They definitely smell like eggs. Taste-wise, in my experience, quail eggs are a little more creamy than chicken eggs and a little earthier tasting, and obviously much smaller. These don't seem to be pickled or anything, just preserved. So I'm actually thinking they're not going to be too bad on this sandwich. Eggs and ham go together well. We've already got some salt and pepper. Probably best case scenario for how to use these. At least
I would
on
not
this
trust
show.
those. I'm going to be honest with you.
And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. Nat 20.
Not bad for a wizard who slept through his Kalashite lessons, eh?
All right, well, I get to pick my sauce today, so I think what I'm going to go with is this champagne dill mustard from Ohio. Remember, if it's not from Ohio,
Dude, all the
it's just
mustards-
sparkling mustard.
All the
This
mustards come
punchy
from Ohio,
Dijon
I
with
swear.
dill will combine with the eggs to give us kind of a deviled egg flavor, which I think should work really well. Not bad for a Monday. Everything seems to be coming up Millhouse. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich put together here.
It actually doesn't look bad.
Get our
I'd try it.
toothpicks in to hold it together.
I don't trust
let's
those
get it cut
quail
in
eggs,
half.
but I'd try it.
And let's take a look at that cross section. Not too shabby.
I'd try it.
Well, the Wizard of Waterdeep seems to have helped us greatly today. And after Friday's sticky situation, I'm pretty thankful for that. Let's see how this one tastes. Yeah, this is dang good. Sourdough is the perfect bread to hold this all together. The tangy cheese, the mustard, and the tomatoes bring in some nice bright flavors, which contrast well with the fat of the egg yolks and ham. This is a solid sandwich. I'm going to go as far as to give it a 9.4.
Wow, I thought it was going to be a 9,
Quail
but I didn't
with
say it out
Waterdeep.
loud.
Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great day. And I'll
9.4,
see you
that's
again
crazy.
on Wednesday.
I won't lie, that actually did kind of look good.